Magic of the universe. Most dangerous insects in the world. House 44 is one of the most dangerous insects. Its scientific name is Scotiacara caleuprata, and the original home of the 44 Mediterranean is one of the very common insects, and this insect looks really strange. But it is actually good because it eats other insects such as spiders, although it is one of the most dangerous insects, and the 44 is responsible for many of the deaths every year. And its bite does not harm a normal person, but if you are allergic to poison then you are in serious trouble. Locusts are one of the most dangerous insects. Locusts are considered one of the most dangerous insects on Earth, and they belong to the family of grasshoppers, and these insects are not really fatal to humans. These insects feed on plants and crops, which launch an attack in swarms, consisting of several thousand locusts, which is not a problem for humans in terms of death, but they pose a financial threat given the fact that they destroy millions of acres of crops each year. And locusts can also be considered a case of the plague. African ant, siafu, is one of the most dangerous insects. African ants are one of the most dangerous insects in the world. If you have been bitten by these insects, you are probably fine, and you will not need a doctor or any treatment for this condition. However, young and old are more vulnerable to the bite of African ant, and this causes about 20 to 50 deaths each year. These insects probably don't bother you much, but if you destroy a colony or kill one of these insects, you are in some trouble. African ants live in colonies consisting of 20 million ants, and these insects have very strong jaws. Wasps are among the most dangerous insects. Wasps are one of the most dangerous insects you will ever find anywhere. Anywhere there are flowers, or anywhere that wasps smell sweet, and if you are not allergic to a wasp sting, you are fine. But if you are otherwise, you will have a problem. About 53 people die due to the wasp sting that causes allergies and leads to anaphylactic shock and then can lead to death. Giant hornet is one of the most dangerous insects. You may have seen a hornet that doesn't seem scary because it's usually not that big, but the Asian giant hornet is on a whole other level. It has a wingspan of 3 inches wide, about 2 inches in length, and about 70 people die every year because of these insects. The venom of these insects can damage soft tissue, discomfort, and produce an odor that will attract other giant wasps. Ants are among the most dangerous insects. Fire ants are usually found in sand or soil, and they feed on plants, cockroaches, and other small insects. And the bite of these insects is very poisonous, and you cannot provoke them and get away from them without a sting. And the fire ant sting is like a fire sting. And that is why these insects were named by this name, and it can be cured from a few small stings from these insects. But if you are trapped by a huge group of fire ants, chances are you will not survive, and it causes about 150 deaths every day, and since it feeds on plants, it destroys crops and millions of dollars in damage, and therefore ants are considered fire as one of the most dangerous insects in the world. Sea fly is one of the most dangerous insects. These small insects feed on blood, and that is why they are considered one of the most dangerous insects in the world. And this is how they spread trypanosomiasis, African trypanosomiasis or sleeping sickness, in humans, and this fly lives in Africa and kills between 250 and 300,000 victims a year. If the disease is not dealt with immediately or in time, the necessary body functions will stop working. And there are about 34 different species of this fly, and it looks just like the ordinary housefly. Bees are among the most dangerous insects. Bees don't need to sting you, unless you allow them to. For example, you did something stupid like throwing a rock into the beehive. Otherwise the bees are peaceful and will not bother you. But there are African bees or killer bees, or one of the most dangerous insects in the world. Bees will crowd in huge numbers above its victims and stings it to death, and this can happen with the slightest provocation or excitement, such as staring at their nest and then screaming, and you will see what happens. FLAS are among the most dangerous insects. Fleas are no bigger than your nail but carry deadly and harmful germs all the time, and one of the most famous germs is the bacteria Yersinia pestis. And this particular bacteria has caused death in Europe since the 14th century and is known as the Black Death, killing nearly 350 to 375 million people between 1348 and 1350. And you can find FLAS in dogs or cats, but none of those insects are as deadly as the flies found on mice. They are so small, 1/6 or 1/8 inch, and can cause the deaths of millions. That is why FLAS are considered one of the most dangerous insects in the world. The malaria mosquito is one of the most dangerous insects. Mosquitoes are annoying and buzzing insects, and they cause harassment, and besides, they feed on blood, and this is more than enough reason to hate these insects and consider them one of the most dangerous insects in the world. And they are disgusting insects, and they lay eggs on stagnant water, and they can be dealt with, but they arise. The problem is when you are exposed to mosquitoes that carry the disease, which can cause you serious illness and in some cases death. And the most common virus transmitted by these mosquitoes is malaria, and now another disease called dengue fever, and please protect yourself from these insects.